Hello everybody, welcome back to another League Racing video. As off bat already, we are looking at rain, and these karts have slick tires. There are no grooves in them, so we're going to see if we can get around one lap, let alone 30. Green flag is down. We are going through turn 1. Good job. We drop all the way down to 9th place. And see if we can recover anything here. Heading towards turn 3 or 4, I believe, and the race is red flagged. We got 9th. A little donut there from the guy in, I don't know, 5th. And then jumping forward a little bit, another fun moment here. Just no grip. Thankfully, they didn't count that, and so we are going to retry this race another week, and the green flag is down. We are going, and immediately we lose first, but then we get first back. This was about 2 weeks, as we were in the middle, pretty wide. This was about 2 weeks after that initial wet race that y'all saw, starting from pole position, and we didn't get any practice before this, so I have no idea where any of the references are. And so I'm just kind of guessing, and I guessed wrong, as I braked way too early. Guy in second goes through, guy in third almost goes through. And we're gonna see if we can hold on to anything here, jumping forward to lap 3, and drop to 3rd place. Okay. And that's literally everything that happened in this race. Nothing else happened. Tried the switchback, didn't work. Kart had no bottom end. Didn't do anything. We are starting the second race of the day, starting from P3. Green flag is down. Kart in front doesn't have very good low end. End up bumping him through as we drop to P5 as the right hand side gets a better start, like they usually do. Guy on our right here is a guy I used to race with at MSRs. He goes for a brave move into turn 5. Get the switch back into P4. Yeah, a couple of guys in this race I used to race with at MSR Houston as we go defensive, little deep into the kart in front, and see if we can shape for a move. Never mind. Bright ass uniform. Look at this. It's actually a dirt bike helmet. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it is a dirt bike helmet. Super cool guy. He won the championship the year that I was there. That was pretty cool. Now, one thing about this kart that I noticed almost immediately is that the top end on this thing is insane. It carries so it just keeps accelerating. Like everybody else kind of stops accelerating near enough the chicane, the high-speed chicane around, I don't know, I'll point it out. But mine just kind of kept accelerating. I'm not sure why, but let's see if we can take advantage of that. Let's go on to lap 3, still in 5th place. So we got about 1 kart length, and everybody will usually kind of top out around here, and I don't. I continue to accelerate all the way to turn 5. It's really turn 2, but on the track map it's turn 5, so we're going to call it turn 5. Heading down towards turn 7, shaping for a move up the inside, get a little loose on the apex, and then once again, the guy is there, so just kind of trying to have to hang it around the outside, and we've got to back out of it, and gonna have to check up once again on the apex as we drop down to P6. Now before you go, I do almost win this race. It is extraordinarily close, and I'll talk about that at around lap 15 because there's a lot to unpack here. This guy in 5th jumps out of the way, move up into 5th place. I think he tried to shape for a move, just kind of got out of shape. Not really sure what happened. Oh, got the switchback. Alright. There are lots of ways I could have won this race. I definitely should have. There is blame on me. There is also blame on not me, and we will talk about that. And definitely talk about it when it happens. So, on to lap 5. A couple of seconds off the leaders. In 6th place. How am I going to catch up through this section right here? These 3 or 4 seconds of track. That did so much for me in terms of race pace. Highlighter fella, once again ahead, going defensive, somewhat unnecessarily. going for the switchback, but not quite getting it done. And ending lap 5 in P6, same as lap 4. But guy ahead gets a little squirrely, and we take P5, and that is the last we see of him. Nope, there's another thing that goes on with him and the highlighter guy in front of us, but we will get to that. Through turn 5, easy peasy. Now, one thing I noticed eventually is that my kart definitely got squirrely out of turn 5, so that is something I did kind of have to manage. Highlighter once again going defensive. So we try for the up and under, but P6 sticks his nose in, and we just kind of have to follow him through. Not much we can do there. As we head towards lap 7 in P5. So that is 1 position gained. I mean, it's net 2 lost, but we're not going to talk about that. As there's actually a lot of chopping and changing in terms of position here. Because the guy may be looking for a move, but it's going to get cut off. And look at that, sliding all the way through turn 5. That is amazing. Looking for the position, he tries to go defensive. I take the inside, and I know he's going to shoot up, so I go for the switchback. Lovely move. We're side by side heading through turns 9. I am headed into turn 9, but he shoots it through turn 10, pushes me wide, and then the guy in 6th place decides to push him, bump draft him, despite me being faster. We're not going to talk about that. We're back into P6. Once again, sliding through the exit of turn 5. Jesus. And a little bit of a late move towards the racing line for highlighter, and he is going to send it into Eddie there. Eddie making his grand return back to HKC. Haven't seen him in quite some time, but there he is. And so now we are in P4 with a little bit of a gap behind, so we don't have to worry about getting dive bombed or anything. As I check just to confirm that thought, and we're gone. We are going to try and push to the leaders ahead, as it is 2-kart battle between Gene in P2, Dusty in P3, and a newcomer. I believe his name was... I actually don't remember what his name is. I'm very, very sorry. I don't know. Anyway, it's his first time here. He qualified 2nd, and you'll see where he finished eventually. Yeah, lap 10, 1/3 of the way through the race, into 4th place. I feel like we definitely have the pace to do something here, maybe a podium. At this point, I wasn't really thinking about a win. And just a little neater through the exit of turn 5. Maybe looking for some overlap, but ended up having to push him through. And into turn 7, braking at the crack. And Dusty is way deep, so I'm going to look for the switchback, and I get it. Very nice. And I just kind of hope he backs out through turn 10, because I just take the racing line, and he does back out. Thankfully, I didn't get pit maneuvered. So lap 11, 3rd place in a podium, maybe looking towards a P2 here. Gene, the guy ahead, usually has me on race pace. The standings, I'll see if I can get it. After this race, I am in P3 on the year, and I am 10 points behind Gene, who is P2 on the year, who is also 10 points behind Dusty, who is P1 on the year. So we are all equidistant from each other. And I was thinking I was kind of just going to sit here. Maybe I would get close to P2 for a chance at, a 2nd place. I got 3rd in the last race. I didn't mention that. Probably should have. Yeah. And then... once again, just the engine on this thing was fantastic, gaining probably 3/10 every single lap just on engine speed alone. Which does make me think I am losing time somewhere, and I don't know where it is. Because these guys were pretty much able to keep pace with me without the engine buff. I think it was kind of mediocre in low to mid, because my exits weren't fantastic. And the top speed just made up for it. As getting close to the halfway mark here, as we are closing in on P2. P1 is kind of running away. As we avoid the giant hole in the ground. Camber. Nope. Clobber. Where's clobbering time? Clobber all over that apex from like 15 seconds ago. That's commentary. You know what? No, I'm gonna wait to talk about it. There is a situation that unfolded in this race. It is not a big deal, but it is a deal. I'll talk about it when it happens. You're gonna have to wait another 14 laps, unfortunately. Now, this race seemed like it lasted 50 laps. I'm gonna be so very honest with y'all. It seemed like it lasted forever. It was a great turnout in terms of participation, and the racing itself was actually really, really good because everybody was pretty close in terms of pace. We are just starting to creep up to some back markers. We are running multiple classes today. So my class is the senior class. You might have glanced that blue flag in the corner back there. We are running senior class, which is the class that I'm in, and we are running master class, which is the class above us, which that is 225 pounds and up. That has to be your driver weight. And this class is 185 and up for driver weight. And already, no, I believe this is back marker, I want to say, and very graciously lets us through. I was really worried about that, because I was catching up to Gene pretty quickly. Give him a little thank you wave there. Heading onto lap 16 now, Gene all over the curb. And we're going to look to work with him, because I knew if I started fighting him all the time, it was just going to end poorly. So I was going to look for bump drafting him as much as I can, just to try and push to the guy in front. A little bit squirrely on exit there. Who would have thunk? How are y'all doing today? It was defensive for some reason. Whatever. And I did kind of learn a new line through here, but I'm not sure if it's faster or not. We'll see. I think it really depends on the cart. It really depends on the cart. I mean, once again, just closing up a huge amount of distance. And on exit, once again, carrying really good speed. I did kind of choke up a little bit on entry, as opposed to really carrying as much speed as I could through the initial approach to turn 5. Really just looking for the exit. Once again, squirrely on the exit of the corner, trying to push the guy ahead. I saw him look, and so I am just going to bump draft him once again. I think that is in the wrong position. Oops. So, and then just trying not to like send him into the corner with a bump as soon as he starts braking, because that'll just mess up everybody. So kind of backing out a little bit before I probably am expecting him to brake. He goes semi-defensive just to kind of make sure I don't get there. And then I am going to try... Oh, I don't try anything. I think that is a different lap. So it is 1, 2, 3, the leaders. I'm not sure what happened, but the guy in first just doesn't quite have the pace. And at this point, I am thinking about a win. Because a couple laps ago, the guy in first was a couple seconds up the road, and now he is 7/10 up the road. So a win here is not off the cards, and that would be win number 2 at HKC. Once again, going for the bump draft, just trying to get both of us towards the leader. He goes for a little bit of a send, and I'm going to maybe go for a switchback. Leader checks up, and we are into second place, hanging around the outside of turn 9. Bit of a risky move, but I was ahead, so I can do that. And then we are 2/3 of the way through the race in second place, and at this point, I'm thinking, oh my god, I am about to win this race pretty easily, because I have the pace, and I've seen the guy ahead, and I think I know where his weakness is. So we are hence behind the leader at this point. And I'll show you where his weakness was. It was right here. He opens up, what is that, turn 8. quite a bit, enough for a move, a shake, a glance perhaps. On to lap 21, second place, 10ths behind the leader. And I'm trying to think, should I bump draft him or should I just kind of stay and not touch him? Because I don't want to pull away from the cart behind. And almost get some overlap, but not quite going to get it, so I do go for the bump draft. I'm coming up towards a back marker, I believe. That is, fell in a different class. Points us through. Give him some space so I don't, turn across his nose. Heading towards lap 22. Not the greatest exit ever, but, shit happens. I know I have the pace to pass him, so I'm having to check up in certain corners. I just need to find the right opportunity, and that's what it is about these short layout races where they don't have the infield. It is all about qualifying. Ultimately, is incredibly important, more so than on the regular layout, so the short layout. So I kind of go for a half-hearted look here, as I'm not really used to his racing line yet, but maybe next lap, wink wink. Yeah, it is, you don't get many passing opportunities on short layout, so any passing opportunity you get, you have to make it count. Just send it, make it stick, see what you can do. But my real issue is that turn 5 exit. It either goes really, really good or really, really bad. Like, there is no in between. And just trying to make it good every time. Just be faster. Why didn't I think of that? And you can kind of see the difference in lines, because through turn 8, which is when I said that was his weakness, he goes a little bit wider on entry, so he can carry more speed. So it is initially slower because he's traveling farther, but on the approach to turn 9, he does carry out a few more tenths on pace. And here on his ass. And see if the guy in third had a little bit of a look, but not quite going to get it done, I don't think. And here we are going to go for the move. He leaves it open. Thank you, sir. Squeeze him all the way to the outside. I measured that perfectly. I want to pat myself on the back there. As we go into first place on lap 25. This is happening. We have some back markers. Guy let us through. Thank you very much. Now it is this back marker ahead of us here that kind of, I don't want to say unravels everything. I think that is JT there. And I get a horrible exit on the exit of turn 5. And the guy in front just carries no speed. I wasn't looking at him. No, that's not JT. My mistake, JT. And there is immediately a safety car called. So I lose first place, and immediately a safety car is called. As we catch a back marker, have to check up. As that is Roberto there. I'll see if I can put some of his info in the comments, or in the description. I think he won both races today for Masterclass, so good for him. And what else? Oh. We are going to spend a couple of laps under safety car. I don't know if I'm going to speed this part up yet or not. I'm not sure. I'm going to talk about rules for a second. If any of you know what happened, I had to talk about this. So, as the race director gives us the old slow down, you're going too fast, because everybody has to catch up to us, because that's the safety car procedure. So, the rules say, gives us one more go around. The rules say that the leader sets pace, and then once the green flag is dropped, everybody can go. Now, you are expected to set pace a couple of corners before the green flag is dropped. I don't think they explicitly say it, but that is how it is interpreted, at least to me. And now that I'm saying that, I do realize that the case I made for what happened is definitely looser, but, I'm not going to do much, as I do the old Kimi Räikkönen and don't warm up the tires. It is around here you are expected to kind of set pace and not change your speed all that much. As the leader, you can, you know, it'll change by a little bit, but you can't go like foot to the floor or like here and then slow back down in turn 9. We'll get one more. Yep, one more safety car lap. As I'm not sure what happened, but oh well. And I think if we didn't have that, outcome of this race would have been different, but I can say that about a million different situations, so I'm actually going to stop saying that. Second place, we're going to have a 2-lap shootout on lap 29 and lap 30. Letting the tires cool down a little bit because I know they're getting hot, so you can't overheat them. Driver ahead, leader, definitely warming up his tires. Now that I'm watching this, I did kind of not keep pace with him all that well. And then he sets pace here. This is the pace he is expected to take till the green flag drops. However, he accelerates here, and the flag is dropped there. And I look at that, and I go, that's a jump start. I can't believe he just jumped the restart. However, after the race, nothing happened. I didn't want him to get a black flag for it. I think that's a bit excessive, but that is usually what they do for penalties. So here we get a pretty good exit from turn 5 as he kind of gets a little squirrely. So I thought, you know, a time penalty or just go down 1 or 2 positions, I thought that would have been appropriate. But then the race director just kind of didn't say anything about it. Like, nobody saw that this guy jumped the start as egregiously as he did. Which is frustrating. That's frustrating. Because without that, I probably, again, I said I'd stop saying it, but I'm not gonna. I probably would have won this race had he not jumped the start. So, I mean, look at this. With the jump start, I'm up his ass. And then, once again, just a bad exit from 5. And at this point, I was thinking I'm not going to get the move done. And goes defensive, and I get on the curb, and it kills my engine speed, and I have no chance at this point to do anything. And he comes around turn 9, goes around turn 10, he wins. I finished P2. I talked to the race director after the race, and he said he'll look out for it in the future. And I'm trying my hardest here to give P3 a fist bump, but despite me having one arm, high five. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Goodbye.